Agenda item 1.1, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley, having established quorum, resolves to call the May 9th, 2022 regular meeting of council to order at the hour of 5 p.m. Mover, seconder, please. Rob, Chris. All in favor? Anybody see anything they want to move from the consent agenda into the regular agenda? I think we'll be discussing a couple of the items that are on there anyways. Shouldn't be an issue. Agenda item 2.2, that the Council of Town of Kindersley resolves to adopt the agenda to the April 9, 2022 regular meeting of council as presented, and that a copy of this agenda be attached to and form part of the minutes of this meeting. I need a mover and a seconder. Deputy Mayor Warren. All in favor? Anybody see anything they have a conflict of interest on in the agenda? Didn't notice anything. Okay, we'll move on to 4.1, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley resolves, whereas the time being 5:02 p.m., that the regular meeting of council be adjourned to a confidential in-camera meeting. I need a mover and a seconder for that. Terry and Randy. All in favor? Okay. Move on to agenda item 5.1, that the Council of Town of Kindersley resolves, whereas the time being 7:08 p.m., that the confidential in-camera meeting is concluded and the regular meeting of council is resumed. Mover and seconder, please. Chris, Rob, all in favor? Carried. Okay. Agenda item 6.1, that the Council of Town of Kindersley resolves to approve as presented the minutes from the April 25th, 2022 regular meeting of council, and that these minutes be attached to and form part of the minutes of this meeting. And Randy? Warren? All in favor? Thank you. Agenda item 7.1, that the Council of Town of Kindersley resolves to adopt the Town of Kindersley operating and capital budget for the year of 2022, and that the approved copy of said budget be attached to and form part of these minutes. CAO Audrey, any news on that?
Yeah, so we've been working on this for quite a few months, and finally got all the numbers that we need together. We have our capital this year, which will be doing about $4.3 million in various capital projects throughout the town, street paving, and then some stuff at the rink, a new phase at the columbarium at the cemetery, those type of items, some hydrant replacements, and then again paving and sidewalk areas. And for that, and then we just finalized all the numbers, increasing what needed to be increased due to the increasing rates for power and energy and all those kind of things, gas, and yeah, came up. So we hopefully, right now, we have a budgeted surplus of approximately $293,000.
Yeah. Any queries, council? Okay. If seeing none, could I have a mover and a seconder for that budget, please? Chris? Second, Gary? All in favor? Okay. And agenda item 7.2 is that the Council of Town of Kindersley resolves to set the 2022 municipal property tax mill rate at 10.65 mils. I believe that with a slight increase in the minimum tax would give us about a 1% tax increase on the municipal taxes for the year, and the school division has presented us with their mill rate already, which is a 2% increase. Yeah, so you're looking at, for the general public's information, and be approximately a 3% increase in taxes. Now, I would point out that this is the first increase in municipal tax in 6 years. In fact, 2 years ago, we gave a 10% decrease. So I think when I talked to various other communities and representatives around the province, most of them are looking at a municipal only increase of in excess of 3%. So I'm quite proud of the fact that we have been able to keep it at 1% and still operate at a small surplus. So I would need a mover and a seconder for the 10.65.
I'd just like to add to your worship that with the cost of labor increases, which are common, and fuel and everything else, you know, it's you know, pretty hard not to bump it a little bit, and we discussed that, and hopefully people will agree.
Any further comments?
No.
Seeing none, could I have a mover and a seconder then, please? Warren and Rob. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, agenda item 7.3, that the council of the town of Kindersley resolves to support administration to submit a grant application to the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, ICIP, under the Community Culture and Recreation Infrastructure Stream, and that the town of Kindersley's share of the project cost come from taxation and fees. Perhaps Audrey or Kim, can you
Yeah.
expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, through the mayor to council. So this is the Canadian Infrastructure, Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program grant. This is the same grant that we received, same grant stream that we received for the active transportation that was used to complete the walking trail. This is just the recreation. That one was the COVID one. This one, the COVID stream, this one is the culture and recreation infrastructure stream. And what we're applying for here is a grant, which we'll find out, but usually it could be like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, for replacing the chiller system at the West Central Event Center to get an updated one in there, as was discussed when we got the whatever he did, assessment done of the rink there. So we just need a resolution from council to support that application, and we'll see how we may go.
Okay. Any queries on that, council? I think we kind of went through that when we had a presentation on the pros and cons of what we need to do at that rink and for a long-term solution, and this was part of that solution. So, if there's no questions, I would entertain a mover and seconder for this motion. Randy, Gary, all in favor? Carried. Okay, agenda item 8.1, that the council of the town of Kindersley resolves to accept as submitted the list of accounts as paid by the town of Kindersley in the amount of $164,673.42, and that a copy of said accounts be attached to and form a part of the minutes of this meeting. Do you have any inquiries from council on
I do not.
anybody see anything now they want to?
My only question, Audrey, was the firefighter awards for 2,500, 26, whatever. I didn't know Scott's Jewelers existed.
She still operates out of her home a little bit lately, and so she's been doing the awards for us for.
Right.
So she hasn't, I guess, folded her name.
Who's that?
She just doesn't have.
Donna
Yes.
Brown.
Oh,
Yeah.
the one that, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just thought, oh, when did they reopen, but.
Yeah, they don't have a storefront,
Right.
but she still operates out of,
Thanks.
There was one fairly large one there for Merlin. Did we get some computer replaces or something?
The Merlin one, so that's most of it was our managed services and our hosted services. We did have to get some stuff for Chad, our new engineering tech. And then we needed our printer, our tax printer for the tax receipts, blue. That wasn't a huge amount of money, but that's also on there.
Might have been something in the rink too, maybe, was there? I just wondered if it was bigger than usual, but I guess if the managed services were in there, that
Yeah, they're usually,
5,000 or.
no, they're only, I think, like 1,200,
Oh, yeah,
and then the hosted services, so that's your domain, your
Yeah, okay,
website.
no, it wasn't as high as what I was thinking it was either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's $4,000 there,
yeah,
yeah.
41,
Yeah.
11, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, if there's no questions, can we get a mover and a seconder for the Payments that have already been made, Randy, Gary. All in favor? Okay. Agenda item 9.1A, that the council of the town of Kindersley resolves to approve the first reading of bylaw 0522, being a bylaw to establish mill rate factors. Can you expand on that a bit, please, CAO Audrey?
I sure can. So the mill rate factors is a tax tool that the municipalities can use. So we set our mill rate, which we did earlier this meeting, at 10.65. The mill rate factors then kind of shift, instead of it being 10.65 to everybody, it kind of just shifts it, which council has over the past shifted a little bit more toward commercial, just because they can write it off, and a little less on the residential side. So these factors, which we've kept consistent with the amount of money that we generate from the different classes, residential, commercial, and agriculture, to generate the same amount sort of that we have in the past. So this is just to adjust the mill rate factors. We do it every year, because at the end of the day, the amount of taxes we collect still has to be the mill rate factor times our assessment. So we just have to change the mill rate factor slightly so that we're not bringing in more revenue than we should be using the mill rate factor.
And I think if I'm correct, am I correct in saying that we kept the same ratio basically?
The same ratio was kept. So the only ones that changed, the commercial did not change at all from last year, and the residential and the agriculture changed slightly, increasing both of those.
All okay, council? If so, can I get a mover and seconder for the first reading? Warren, Chris, I think. All in favor? Move on to 9.1B, that the council of the town of Kindersley resolves to approve the second reading of bylaw 0522. Again, I need a mover and a seconder, Randy, Gary. All in favor? And agenda item 9.1C, that the council of the town of Kindersley resolves to approve that 3 readings be given to bylaw 05-22 at the May 9th, 2022 regular meeting of council. Again, mover, seconder, Chris and Rob. All in favor? And finally, 9.1D, that the council of the town of Kindersley resolves to approve that bylaw 0522, being a bylaw to establish mill rate factors, be read a third time, and hereby be approved, and that the approved copy of this bylaw be attached to and form part of the minutes, part of these minutes. Finally, mover and seconder, Warren, Randy. All in favor? Carried. That was easy. Oh. Not as easy as I'd anticipated, obviously. 9.2A, that the council of the town of Kindersley resolves to approve the first reading of bylaw 0622, being a bylaw to provide for minimum amounts of tax.
Okay, so this is our minimum tax. This is a tax that is put on for properties that are lower assessed, and this is just basically the amount that council feels covers the services that are provided to these homes, and if we just use the mill rate, they would fall quite under that. So this did increase from 2021. The minimum tax over the last few years, except for the 2 years ago when we lowered it, has stayed fairly consistent and hasn't risen a whole lot. So it was decided by council to increase that just because the increase of the cost to provide the services to all the lots and residents in Kindersley, and that the minimum cost for those services has increased. So we've increased the residential from $1,240 to $1,300, and the commercial from $2,140 to $2,400.
Any elaboration on that, council? If not, I need a mover and a second, please. Rob, second Gary, all in favor? Carried. Try this all over again. 9.2B, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley resolves to approve the second reading of bylaw 0622. And I need mover and seconder. Warren and Chris. All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 9.2C, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley resolves to approve that 3 readings be given to bylaw 0622 at the May 9th, 2022 regular meeting of council. Mover and seconder, please. Jerry and Randy. All in favor? Okay. 9.2D, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley resolves to approve that bylaw 0622 being a bylaw to provide for minimum amounts of tax be read a third time and hereby be approved, and that the approved copy of this bylaw be attached to and form part of these minutes. Mover and seconder over on my right hand side. Chris and Rob Anderson, all in favor? Okay. Now, the reading lesson. Agenda item 10.1, whereas Canada has declared May 15th to the 21st, 2022 as Canadian Royal Purple Week, and whereas the Canadian Society of Fun-Loving, Dynamic, Dedicated Volunteers help children in their communities, and whereas this nationally incorporated not-for-profit organization provides a forum for like-minded individuals to come together to make a difference in their communities, whereas local decision-making and the opportunity to learn builds sustainability, and whereas the principles of Canadian Royal Purple, justice, charity, love, and service provide a strong foundation to learn and prosper, whereas the impact of the volunteer work of the Canadian Royal Purple members serves each lodge's community, whereas membership is open to a resident of Canada who has reached 14 years of age, who supports democratic and lawful government and the purposes and objectives of the Canadian Royal Purple Society. Whereas Royal Purple is a valuable asset to our community, Kindersley Lodge number 385 has existed since 2017, and Royal Purple has existed in Canada since 1914. Therefore, I, Mayor Rob Perkins, do hereby proclaim the week of May 15th to the 21st, 2022 as Canadian Royal Purple Week in the town of Kindersley, and that the Council of the town of Kindersley hereby recognizes Canadian Royal Purple for the significant impact it has made and continues to make in our community. Could I have a mover and seconder for that? Randy. Warren. All in favor? Okay. 10.2 agenda item. Whereas the province of Saskatchewan has declared May 9th to the 13th, 2022 as Economic Development Week in Saskatchewan, and whereas communities and economic developers promote economic well-being and quality of life for their communities by creating, retaining, and expanding businesses that facilitate growth, enhance wealth, and provide a stable tax base, and whereas community and economic developers stimulate and incubate entrepreneurism in order to help establish the next generation of businesses, which is the foundation of the Saskatchewan economy, and whereas community and economic developers attract and retain high-quality jobs, develop vibrant communities, and improve the quality of life in their regions, And therefore, I, Mayor Rod Perkins, do hereby proclaim the week of May 9th to the 13th, 2022 to be Economic Development Week in the town of Kindersley, and that the Council of the town of Kindersley encourages residents to continue to shop local. Mover and seconder.
Parched.
Yeah, Gary and Chris. All in favor? Okay, thank you. Agenda item 11.1, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley resolves to approve the consent agenda, which includes the following: walking trail minutes for May 2nd, 2022, the RCMP policing report for April, and the Worley Western Regional Landfill Board meeting minutes March 23rd of 2022. Mover and seconder for those reports, please. Councilor Anderson, second Schaefer. All in favor? Okay. I don't think we need to do this camera. Do it afterwards. So we move to agenda item 15.1, that the Council of Town of Kindersley resolves that all business having been concluded the May 9th, 2022 regular meeting of council be adjourned at 7:30 p.m. Andy. And Chris. All in favor? Isn't it?